Welcome to the channel, and today we're going to be doing a quick review of WWE 2K25. So first we'll talk about GM mode, and this year they've added quite a bit. New GMs and new match types include the Gauntlet. I've not gone into GM mode a lot, I just did, I think it was 2 months of GM mode. The main differences I noticed are now the last Raw or SmackDown or last show before the pay-per-view is a go-home show, which operates pretty much like the pay-per-views did in the previous games. And then at the pay-per-view, the opener and the main event put you against the other brands. So in my case, I was running all four brands, and it's four-way matches. Now I'm assuming that when you play with different numbers of people that it would change, but I've not had chance to test that theory yet. But if you win your match, not only do you get a bonus card to help you out that you can use. I believe the first one I got was, it gave you 25 experience points for any superstar, or it might have been popularity, I'm not sure now. I think it's popularity actually. And the matches are different as well. So in the first pay-per-view that I did, it was the first match was a fatal four-way for the women. I played as Liv Morgan, and then that was just a straight up fatal four-way. And then in the main event, it was a gauntlet match, a four-way gauntlet. I played as Finn Balor. I actually won that one as well. So, but not only do you get your card, you also get 10,000 fans, I believe it is, for winning the match. It's a real game changer. A real game changer. If you're behind, which I was, it's helped me catch up quite a bit. The pay-per-views didn't really run the first month to how I should have done, because I was preparing for the pay-per-view. So my first go-home show wasn't great, and my first pay-per-view wasn't great for the individual match either. Now, playing as four people, you only get to do one match on the pay-per-view, so you want that to be as good as possible to get the best score possible, which I managed to do on the second pay-per-view. Trades seem to be pretty much the same. I didn't really notice a lot of difference with them. And I heard that they have fixed the issue where like certain superstars wouldn't appear in the draft at the beginning. Now, somebody was on about Roman Reigns being in. I think it was Assemble. But yeah, he was in there, but there was no CM Punk in the draft, which kind of sucked because I kind of wanted him as my champ, but I went with Cody Rhodes instead. Not that he stayed champ for long, but that's a whole different story. Now, after so next up is the brawls, backstage areas. They've added a couple of new areas, haven't they? They've added the parking lot brawl, which is the one that I've looked at. I've not really looked at the other areas, but you've got the WWE archives, and I believe they've tinkered with the original area as well. But in the parking lot brawl NXT, you've got an ambulance which you can chuck people in. I'm assuming if you do an ambulance match, that'll function properly, but if you do it in a regular match, they'll just be locked in and then they'll come out a few moments later. But it adds some depth to the game, and it's quite good fun. Here you can see I did a NXT match with I think I picked all the new ladies on NXT. Don't think any of them were in the last game. So yeah, it's just a fun little extra mode inside the game, and might be fun in universe later on. And it's also cool in the archives. I've not played it yet, but I have seen videos of it, and there's quite a few nice little Easter eggs in that area. So next up we've got the new Bloodline rules matches, and this mode is actually quite good fun. I played it with my son the other day, and he wasn't completely aware of the rules, so he was wondering what was going on when there was 4 of us beating him up. I did eventually tell him and showed him how to call him out. But yeah, we both had quite good fun with that mode. It's maybe not a mode that I use all the time, but it's definitely good for multiplayer, and definitely adds a little bit extra to the game. Like I say, it's fun, especially if you're playing against somebody and you kind of stitch them up. But brings us on to the next bit, which is the Money in the Bank. Now, last year it didn't really work. You could do it in universe mode through the storyline only, but in the play or exhibition mode it didn't really work at all. This year they fixed that, and I did a match between Dominic and Isla Sky. No, sorry, Rhea Ripley and Isla Sky cashed in on Rhea Ripley at the end of that match. So that works. Also during that match, Rhea jumped Dom at the beginning, which don't remember that happening at all when I was playing last year. So that's been fixed as well, which was great to see. So next up is Underground. Now, this is a new match type. It's not one of the match types that I actually wanted them to put in, but I actually really like it. And it's definitely a fun match type. I did a Queen of the Underground tournament, which the video is actually available on the channel. I will link that in the description if you want to check that out. I'll put the whole tournament in one video. And yeah, it's just a fun new match type, and it's relevant. There's been a few underground matches recently on NXT, so it's a fresh mode. It's very different to other stuff. Could argue it's a little bit similar to a backstage environment, but hopefully it leads to other match types down the road, such as the lumberjack match, which would be really cool. Which brings us to the Bloodline Showcase mode. I love this mode. It's one of my favourite showcases so far. Different person every match, and some good matches. I really enjoyed most of the matches on it. The ladder match was a little bit of hard work, but I managed to do it on the second attempt, so it wasn't too bad. But I thought I did think it was going to be a lot worse than it was, to be honest. But the first match, first time I did it, it wasn't good. But yeah, it's a fun mode all around. My favourite matches were probably the WrestleMania 9 match and the bonus match at the end. Although War Games was good fun as well. That one felt like it could take quite a few attempts, but because of the unique goals in that match. But the first time I did it, I didn't manage to get everybody to bleed, which is one of the goals in that match. But yeah, no, it was good fun, and I think they picked some really good matches. You got Yokozuna vs Brett, which was so it wasn't Yokozuna vs Brett, was it? It was King of the Ring, I think. Don't think you... Dude, I can't remember now. But you play as Yoko against Hogan, sorry. And then the WrestleMania 9 match was the Steiner brothers versus the Head Shrinkers, which was actually really fun. And it's great to get the Head Shrinkers in the game as well. I actually like them as a tag team. Be using them a lot, I think. And I think the cage match was fun. Not really, don't really see much of George the Animal still, so it's nice to see him get in there. Then you had the Rikishi versus Stone Cold match. That was really good fun. Rewriting history on that one though, so I wasn't so keen on the end result, being a Stone Cold fan, but it was quite nice being Hogan at King of the Ring though. Not gonna lie, I'm not a great fan of Hogan. So, and the gauntlet match. So last year they did a WrestleMania Royal Rumble as a bonus match at the end of the showcase. This year they've decided to do something similar, but this time it's a gauntlet match in the form of a gauntlet, and you have to beat members of the Bloodline. I think it's 10-person gauntlet, and it varies who you might get each time. The first time I played through, came across Nia Jax. The second time I played through it, she wasn't in it, but Yokozuna was. And they have like a purple bar, and it's harder to do anything to them at the start of the match, which is realistic, and it makes you think a little bit more about how to tackle said opponent. But overall, a massive thumbs up for the showcase. And like I say, it's nice that it's got some of my favourite wrestlers from when I was younger into the game, such as Haku, although I always remember him as King Haku rather than as a member of the Islanders. Islanders was probably a bit early for me. I always remember him tagging with Andre the Giant. But then you've, like I say, you said before, you've got the Head Shrinkers. Really nice to see them in the game. And the older versions, good versions of more familiar faces. The No Mercy outfit for Stone Cold, and the WrestleMania 9 attire for the Steiners, I believe, is an unlockable as well. And you've got a 2017 version of Becky Lynch, Natalia, Charlotte, Carmella and Tamina. They were quite... I liked pretty much all of them. And then you've got the King of the Ring version of Hogan, which quite like the red top like attire from King of the Ring. And then after the showcase, I moved on to Myfaction this year, and I focused on the World Tour, I have done a couple of the live events as well to rack up points, and I think there was one where you can unlock a pack. But I dived into World Tour, found it a little bit similar to how towers work, as in you get the separate matches for each segment. But it actually looks quite fun, and I only did the first part. I think it was first 4, maybe 5 matches, and basically you get rewards at the end of each match, like you do with ordinary Myfaction matches. But you also unlock the next tier of events. Now, on the first part, you're restricted to wrestlers that are below gold. You can't use gold or above. So you need a few of the lower value cards to start this one off, which shouldn't be too hard to acquire. But yeah, no, it looks like there's going to be a little bit of a storyline. There's chapter cards. Some I think you can unlock via pack, because I did get one yesterday in a pack. And chapter 3 I think I unlocked organically. But yeah, I mean, it's the only real change to Myfaction, although the Proving Grounds seems to have disappeared, which maybe this is more like Proving Grounds than the towers, to be fair. But yeah, I quite like the mode, and although I'm not a massive fan of Myfaction, I will spend some time on it. Just on the world, maybe just on the world tour. I normally only go in to try and unlock personas and stuff like that as well. But yeah, it's a fun mode. Now, I didn't really get around to playing MyRisre because it just would not work. It would just crash every time I tried to load it up. Apparently they have fixed this, but I haven't had a chance to test to see if it's working for me now. And yesterday I also had the same issue with Myfaction, where it took me a good couple of hours before I could get into Myfaction, because it just, every time I tried to load it would get stuck. It wouldn't crash like it would with the MyRisre, but it just would not load. I left it sat there for a good 5 minutes and it just wouldn't go into the mode. I tried several times, tried resetting the game, resetting the console, and it just wouldn't have any of it. But yeah, so I think that just leaves the island and the universe mode to discuss. Now, universe mode, I've not really played about with much, but there are some cool new features. You've got 2 night pay-per-views, and you can set more than one show to each night, so you can recreate the Monday Night Wars if you want to. Probably something that I will be doing myself at some point. King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring are in. I've not played through it yet, so I'm not sure how that works, but I believe they get their title shots at SummerSlam if they win the tournament. So it'll be interesting to see how that works. I do apologise for the hiccups. But yeah. Finally, the island. Now, I spent about an hour in the island without actually achieving very much. My first match was actually a player versus player match, and as a level 1 it put me against somebody. There was a level 20 and 100 overall rating, and predictably I barely got a hit in. So yeah, the matchmaking when you're first starting, I don't really like it. I nearly actually came out the mode, and then I noticed that I had a notification within the mode, and it gave me my first match off of Roman, and now I'm unlocked the next match. So I will go back into it to see how that goes. But yeah, my first opinion wasn't great, to be honest. But it does look like it's going to have an interesting storyline in it. So I may play through the storyline, but the player side of it, no, not for me, thank you very much. Well, that brings us to the end of the video, and I'm guessing if you made it this far, you must have enjoyed the video, so please hit like and subscribe, and hit the bell if you want to get notifications for future videos. I'll put links for the videos that I mentioned down in the description. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day.